The To-Do or Teamwork Makes the Dream Work is a project of the SciTech Mathematical Society, the official mathematics club of Santa Rosa Science and Technology High School. It is a project that aims to provide support to high school students in their respective mathematics subjects. This project consists of distribution of reviewers by grade level and posting of tutorial videos on YouTube. The topics in the tutorial videos are those that are requested by the SciTech students that responded in a survey given by the club, while the topic in the reviewers covers all the topics discussed in the quarter. The reviewers are only exclusive for the SciTech Mathematical Society club members.
Good day to everyone. Welcome to SciTech Mathematical Society's Project to Do Teamwork Makes the Dream Work YouTube tutorial video. I'm Jasmine Pacete, SMS Grade 9 representative at your service. Today, as requested by my beloved batchmates, we are going to talk about Quarter 3 Lesson 1, which is Parallelogram. And without further ado, let's go on with our discussion. Parallelogram. Now, what is a parallelogram? A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with opposite sides that are congruent and parallel, opposite angles that are congruent, adjacent angles that are supplementary, and diagonals that bisect each other and forms two congruent triangles. Dami, di ba? Well, let me break it down for you. First, let's talk about quadrilateral. What is a quadrilateral? Coming from the word itself, quadri meaning four, and lateral meaning sides, a quadrilateral is simply any four-sided 2D figure. There are different types of quadrilateral, which are the parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, square, kite, and trapezoid. But today we will be focusing on parallelogram. Now, moving on, here are our objectives for today's discussion. First is to be able to determine whether given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Then, to be able to understand each of the parallelogram's properties. And lastly is to be able to apply the concept of the properties and conditions in solving problems. And with that, let's get started. To achieve our first objective, which is to be able to determine whether a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, we have here the conditions that guarantees a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. First, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if both pairs of opposite sides are congruent or parallel. Second is if both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Third is if pairs of consecutive angles are supplementary. Fourth is if the diagonals bisect each other. Fifth is if each diagonals divide a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. And last but not least is if one pair of opposite sides are congruent and parallel. That is a lot, which is an advantage for us. So please take note and remember these conditions. Because now it's time for our exercises. Here are the problems that we'll be solving with the help of the 6 conditions that guarantees a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. For our first problem, suppose Q is a quadrilateral with S as its midpoint. Analyze the following statement and write if it's true or false, then justify your answer. Let's start with statement number 1. If CU is congruent to TE and UT is congruent to CE, then quadrilateral Q is a parallelogram. Okay. Now, going back to our conditions. We know that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if both pairs of opposite sides are congruent or parallel. Thus, analyzing this statement, it applies to condition 1, which means statement 1 is true, with condition 1 to back it up in justification. Now, next, in statement number 2, it says in quadrilateral cute, if the measurement of angle E is 51 degrees, then the measurement of angle C should also be 51 degrees for it to be a parallelogram. Okay. Uh, if you remember, according to condition 3, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if pairs of consecutive angles are supplementary to 180 degrees. And in quadrilateral cute, angle C and U are consecutive angle, and so are angle U and T, angle T and E, and lastly, angle E and C. And so, if angle E is equal to 51 degrees and angle C is also 51 degrees, adding them up will equal to 102 degrees, which is 78 short 78 degrees short to be 180 degrees. Therefore, statement 2 is false because if the measurement of angle E is 51 degrees, then the measurement of angle C should be 129 degrees for it to be a pair of consecutive angles that are supplementary to 180 degrees. Okay? Okay, next. For statement 3, if angle C is congruent to angle T and angle E is congruent to angle E, then quadrilateral cute is a parallelogram. Analyzing this statement, the given pairs of angles are opposite to each other. And we know that according to condition 2, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Therefore, statement 3 is true, with condition 2 backing it up for justification. Now, on to statement 4, which says if segment CT and EU bisect each other at S, then it's a parallelogram. Okay. Stating our given, we have Qt is a parallelogram and S is its midpoint. Now, visualizing this, we'll have CT and EU as the parallelogram's diagonals. Now, go back to this statement 3, analyze it, and think of condition 6. If we go back to condition 6, then statement 4 is true. With uh, with condition 4 for its justification, because it states a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if the diagonals bisect each other. Now, okay? Now, in our last statement, in parallelogram cute, EU divides it into two congruent triangles. Okay. EU is one of quadrilateral cute's diagonals. Thus, justify condition 5. Therefore, make statement 5 true. For condition 5 states a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if each diagonal divides a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. And that's it. Problem 1 solved. Now let's move on to problem number 2. For this, our instruction is which of the following statements makes quadrilateral cake a parallelogram? Is it statement 1 or is it statement 1? Angle C is congruent to angle K and angle A is congruent to angle E, or is it statement 2? Segment CY is equal to KY, segment AY is equal to EY, segment CY is equal to EY, and segment AY is equal to KY. Or maybe is it statement number 3? Angle CAE is congruent to angle KEA. Angle CEA is congruent to angle KAE. And CK is congruent to AE. Or maybe it's statement 4. Segment CE is parallel to EK and segment CA is equal to EK. Let's find out. And for our problem number 2, we have statement 1 and 3 as the statements that makes the quadrilateral cake a parallelogram. And for our justification, statement 1 makes a cake a parallelogram as it states angle C is congruent to angle K and angle A is congruent to angle E, which makes quadrilateral cake a parallelogram as it states the same concept of condition 2, which says quadrilateral is a parallelogram if both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. And same goes to statement number 3, that states angle CAE is congruent to angle KEA and angle CEA is congruent to angle KAE and CK is congruent to AE, which also makes quadrilateral cake a parallelogram as it states the same concept of condition 5, which says a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if each diagonal divides a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. Yes! Problem 2 solved. Now moving on. There. To achieve our second objective, we have here the properties of a parallelogram, which for the first property states in a parallelogram, any two opposite sides are congruent and parallel. For the second states in a parallelogram, any two opposite interior angles are congruent. And for third, we have in a parallelogram, any two consecutive angles are supplementary. For the fourth, in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. And for fifth, states in a parallelogram, a diagonal forms two congruent triangles. Okay, take note of these 5 properties again. For we have another batch of exercises which will help us achieve our third objective, which is to be able to apply the conditions and properties we've tackled to solve mathematical problems. There. These are the exercises. It's a lot, so let's get right to it. For our first problem, if Rose is a parallelogram with OS is equal to 4x minus 30 and RE equal to x, find the value of x. Okay, to answer, we first identify which condition or property applies with the given values, which here is condition 1. Thus lead us to statement guide. If Rose is a parallelogram, then OS would be congruent to RE. Now, solving for x given OS is equal to 4x minus 30 and RE is equal to x, will have equation 4x minus 30 is equal to x. Now first adding 30 to both sides, we'll have 4x is equal to x plus 30. Next, we subtract x to both sides, which will give us 3x is equal to 30. Now, dividing both sides by 3 to cancel 3 and 3x and give us the value of x, which is 30, divided by 3 is 10. So, x is equal to 10. Now, next, for our second problem, we let ABCD be a parallelogram given that AB is equal to 3x minus 5 centimeters, BC is equal to 2y minus 7 centimeters, CD is equal to x plus 7 centimeters, and AD is equal to y plus 3 centimeters. We are to find the value of x and y, the length of AB and AD, and the perimeter of parallelogram ABCD. As I've said, first, we identify the condition or property that applies to R given, which here is parallelogram property 1, which give us statement guide. If quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram, then AB is congruent to CD and BC is congruent to AD. Now, solving for x, given AB is equal to 3x minus 5 and CD is equal to x plus 7, we'll have equation 3x minus 5 is equal to x plus 7. With that, first we add 5 to both sides, which will give us 3x is equal to x plus 12. Then we subtract x to both sides, that gives us 2x is equal to 12. Now, we divide both sides by 2 to cancel 2 and 2x and give us the value of x, which is 12 divided by 2 is 6. Therefore, the value of x is 6. Next, solving for AB, given AB is equal to 9, is equal to 3x minus 5 and x is equal to 6. We'll have equation AB is equal to 3x minus 5. So first, we substitute 6 to the value of x in the equation, which will now be AB is equal to 3 multiplied by 6 minus 5. Then we simplify, which lead us to 18 minus 5. And then simplify again to finally get the length of AB, which is 15 centimeters. Next, solving for y. Given BC is equal to 8y minus 7 and AD is equal to y plus 3. We'll have equation 2y minus 7 is equal to y plus 3 to solve that, we first add 7 to both sides, which lead us to 2y is equal to y plus 10. Then we subtract y to both sides, which will give us the value of y, which is 10. Okay, next, solving for AD, given AD is equal to y plus 3 and y is equal to 10, sorry. We'll have equation AD is equal to y plus 3. Then to start, we first substitute 10 to the value of y in the equation, which will now be AD is equal to 10 plus 3. Then we simplify, which lead us to we remove the parentheses, which lead us to 10 plus 3, which will give us the length of AD, which is 10 plus 3 is 13 centimeters. Next, solving for ABCD perimeter, given AB is equal to 15 centimeters and AD is equal to 13 centimeters with the perimeter equation, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Substituting our given values of length and width in the equation, we'll now have 2 times 13 plus 2 times 15. Simplifying this, we'll have 36 plus 30. And then adding the 2 will give us the perimeter, which is 66 centimeters. Problem solved. Now, on to the next problem. For our third problem, given that QR is a parallelogram with diagonal CR and UE, prove that CR and UE bisect each other, which is parallel according to parallelogram 4. Then, but we will be using property 1 and not property 4. Okay, for this, you can create a different answer because in statement reason problem, there are different flows you can do when you answer. And to start, maybe you can use the given, then apply condition, theorem, or properties. And from that, you can either give very detailed list or just the needed statements. And for this, what I did is just the what is needed. Okay, so this is what I got. For statement 1, parallelogram cure, which is a given. Then from statement 1, I got statement 2, which states CR is congruent to UE and CU is congruent to ER, which applies to parallelogram property 1. Then for statement 3, I got it from statement 1 again. I have CR is parallel to UE and CU is parallel to ER, which is the definition of a parallelogram. Then, for statement 4, I got angle CUE is congruent to REU and angle CUR is congruent to REC, which is a PAIAC. Next, for statement 5, I have angle CHU is congruent to RHE, which proves vertical angle theorem. Then, statement 6, triangle CHU is congruent to triangle RHE, and that is a SAA congruence postulate, which I formed from the knowledge of postulate congruency. Then for statement 7, I got CH is congruent to RH and EH is congruent to UH, which fits to CPCTC. And next, to finally wrap it up, I got CR and UE bisect each other as the definition of bisectors. That's it. But you can have a different list here. You can add more, maybe. That's based on your knowledge. You can get this from what we've learned back grade 8 and on the past quarters. Okay, next. For problem 4, we are to identify a condition or more that guarantee the given figure is a parallelogram, then justify it. Okay. To answer, we first should analyze. Okay. To analyze, given JU is congruent to AN and JN is congruent to UA, and JA and UN is its diagonals, then angle JUN is congruent to angle ANU, and angle JNU is congruent to angle AUN. Thus, if angle JUN is congruent to ANU and angle JNU is congruent to AUN, then triangle JUN is congruent to triangle sorry is congruent to triangle ANU with UN as transversal. Therefore, condition 5 guarantees quadrilateral 1 is a parallelogram. Okay? Okay. Just go back to this if you have if you didn't understand anything. If you didn't understand what I'm trying to say, just go back and repeat what I just said. Now on to our last problem. In parallelogram copy, the measurement of angle COP is equal to 5y minus 26 degrees, and the measurement of angle PYC is equal to 2y minus 40 degrees. Find the measurement of YCO and the measurement of angle COP. Oh, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and see you on our next topic. Bye.